Yun. So, ulit na naman ako. Okay, take 3. Galit na daw si Derek.
Okay.
Take 3. Okay. Sab, maraming salamat ulit at good morning ulit for doing this with us. I know, it's taking a lot of your time, pero we're very grateful talaga. Kasi you're helping a lot of people in raising awareness and just, para hindi mahiya yung mga tao to stand up and be vocal. So, to represent the community, I have one question for you. As a mom, how do you do it? Really? Seriously, how do you do it? I can't.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mitch, for um, having me and say those nice things about me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, I think as a mom with ADHD, I don't know. I would have no point of reference of being a mom without ADHD. So parang ako, I have no choice. 'Di ba? Parang I don't know. I maybe if we think about it, do moms without ADHD definitely I think they may have it just a little bit easier. Pero motherhood is no joke, either or. So, ayun naman yun. It's just another kung hindi ADHD, I'm sure there's something that's,
Okay.
moms are going we're always being tested, aren't we?
Yeah, kasi,
So, parang alam mo yun,
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Kasi, being a mom, alam mo yung pag sa 8 to 5 work, when you punch in, punch out, hindi ka na empleyado anymore after 5. But when you're a mom 28/7. walang walang pahinga, walang break, kahit yung sa pagtulog and everything. And actually that leads to my second question. I was able to actually talk with a life coach then. Mommy din siya and may ADHD rin siya. Ang sabi niya, women are getting diagnosed either of two things. One, if their kid has ADHD, or two, when they become mom themselves. In your story, paano mo nalaman or how did you figure it out? Like, what's your process?
Um, I had a I have a friend who was tweeting about her own experiences, pakonti-konti.
Mm-hmm.
And when I would see her tweets about it, she was openly diagnosed. But of course, her Twitter's on private, so I'm not gonna say her name unless she wants to later. Paalam ako next time.
Mm-hmm.
Pero she was tweeting about, her meetings with her therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Very, parang nakailang months yun na I would keep seeing it and then parang, oh, that's relatable.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the next tweet, I'd be like, that's that's relatable, but probably not.
Yeah.
And then she tweeted this one thing that super resonated with me because it's the one thing, like, it's one of the things that bothers me the most about myself, which is I can't help but um parang hindi ko kayang patapusin yung tao magsalita. Does that happen to you? It's like, I'm embarrassed because I feel like it comes off as rude, and I just really physically could not stop myself. Na parang, and I think for the most part of for most of my life, I didn't know I was doing it, and then parang I just I don't know, maybe becoming a mom, becoming more self-aware.
Oh, yeah.
And also, I did seek counseling for
Mm-hmm.
personal issues.
Mm-hmm.
I had a very difficult birthing experience. And so I was doing therapy, but I had no idea that I had ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
So when my friend tweeted that, I finally messaged her and said, you know what? I think that there's something here because all of your tweets, like, sobra ako nakaka-relate talaga to them. It's like not one, because sometimes there's one symptom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then one symptom doesn't mean you have it. But
Oh,
when
yeah.
it's a lot, though if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you're probably you probably already know, or you're thinking if you do have it. Um, Read up more on it, and you'll figure it out with some professional help, like I did, because I contacted her therapist, her psychiatrist, and meron lang konting curveball, because he said, "Oh, it does seem like you do have ADHD, but you also have depression." And that really shook me. Kasi parang ako, what? Because I didn't think I had depression. And so he said, "I'm going to try and treat you for 3 months first for your depression before we even tackle your ADHD," because, well, that's how he wanted to go about it.
Yeah.
And I don't hide this. I've talked about this several times. If this is like the nth time you're hearing about this, sorry na lang. Pero I really, it really, it makes me feel good when I talk about this, because it heals not only myself, but I know na some moms, not even if you're not a mom, a lot of people need to hear that it's not the worst thing ever. Actually, it's really good to find out about it, because then you can do something about it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so after 3 months, I'm happy to share na, he was like, "You're cured." And then he just said, parang, "Yeah, we can start treating you for your ADHD na." And then, yun, um, it was, it was the psychiatrist who helped me diagnose myself, pero who helped diagnose me. But it was more of, I have to say, it was more of my personal research, my further research on it, and um, all of the resources na nahanap ko, yun yung talagang nag, nakatulong talaga sa akin.
Yes. Actually, same din eh. Same journey. Nakita ko rin siya sa Twitter. So funny.
Ganun na.
Kasi yeah, I'm having my nails done and I'm just browsing Twitter, and then there's this one article that says that emotionally abused children have the higher tendency to have ADHD. And then I saw the symptoms, and then oh my gosh, it's me. Like me. And then,
Mm.
from then, naghanap na ako ng doctor, and it led to, yes, you have depression then as well. I'm still taking medications for it, and then ADHD, and then everything in my life also made a lot of sense. Na parang, I started this project, hindi ko matapos-tapos, or I have this very amazing idea, but the execution part, it's bokya. Parang tawag nga sa akin ng dad
Oh.
ko, intro boys. Kasi walang outro, puro daw intro. Dami kong nasimulang hindi natapos. Yan. And then, and ano din eh. Pero one, struggle talaga when you became a mom. I would like to highlight on that sa mga women na may ADHD. When you became a mom, dun mo marirealize, or dun mo mas lalong, makikita. Kasi pala, the explanation behind that is, when you're single, you develop coping mechanisms without you knowing it. And then when you became a mom, that flipped 180 degrees. And then everything, you have to relearn everything. You have to relearn your coping
Mm.
mechanisms and whatnot. So, yun, actually, that's my next question. Coping mechanisms. Like, what were your previous coping mechanisms that didn't work? And what are the coping mechanisms that you have to develop yourself in order for you to adopt, or to be an effective mom?
You mean coping mechanisms when before I became a mom?
Yes, and then after, like for example, if kunyari emotional dysregulation, what are the things that you were doing back then that's different now? Like, how do you handle your stress, or how do you handle frustrations? What were the ones before na gumana, and then ngayon hindi na? Kasi ako, for me, definitely retail therapy, I don't recommend it. Dati gumagana siya. Ngayon hindi na pwede.
Yeah.
Yun.
Yeah, actually, I've never reflected on this before, but definitely, I think food was my comfort thing back then. Ano ba? Kasi talagang I really had a bad handle on my emotions back then. And if I'm angry, like I'm really angry. And actually, um, very interesting enough, I was always told growing up na I mean I'm one of 8 children. Pero me in particular, sobrang wild daw talaga ng temper ko when I was a kid, when I was a toddler. Which I had no idea kasi when I was in ano na, syempre yung may malay na talaga ako. I was like, well, when I was in grade school and high school, like I was super like a good girl with honors,
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
But apparently when I was a toddler, talagang talagang I would bite everyone. They had to nickname me. They gave me a nickname, Happy. They called me Happy so that I would, maybe be more happy because I was always angry daw. Sa lahat ng kapatid ko, talagang kakagating ko sila. Um, I am the reason why my brother meron siyang tahi dito kasi nagtataya-tayaan kami. Tapos sabi niya sa akin, taya, taya, taya. Tapos nagalit na ako kasi nga, ayoko na maglaro. Kumuha yung ruler, tapos hinampas ko sa kanya. So he had to be brought to the ER. I'm not proud of it. I was a child.
Oh, yeah.
So tinahi siya dito. So ganun kalala yung anger issues ko noon. And yeah, when I was, when I was older, hindi naman ako ganun syempre, when we're children kasi we really have wala talaga. We can't control talaga.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
when I had more control, it would be more of suppressing it. I would suppress my feelings. And then, wala, like just pag sumobra na, then I would just super cry. Or, yun nga, I'll order some food and eat. And, food always seemed to make things better.
Oh, yeah.
Up to now, good food, good food. But it's not supposed to be the thing that's gonna regulate your emotions.
Dapat
Yeah.
hindi. Dapat. Yan, actually yun din ang problem ko, food. Kasi, same story actually. Sabi ng parents ko, sa magkakapatid, ako daw yung iyakin ng bata. Ang tawag nga sa akin,
Mm.
berat eh. Like,
Ano
small.
sabihin nun?
Yeah. Papansin? Ewan ko kung ano exact term nun. Diba,
Oh.
for example, pag iiyak ka, di ba, parang inaasar mo yung bata. Oy, berat, berat. Parang pag lagi natatalo, iiyak ng iiyak. So, I was coined berat. And then, growing up, smallest things like, kunyari, may makaka-hurt sa akin, parang laging sasabihin sa akin, that happened few years ago. Why it seemed na parang bago pa rin sa'yo. I didn't know I had ADHD back then. And then, that, my diagnosis actually helped me to love myself even better. Kasi, hindi pala ako yun. Like, I cannot define myself by those terms. And even amidst depression, I always remind myself na, you're this amazing person. Very same, actually. Pero ako yung taong yung very reserved na parang nasa loob lahat ng galit, ng happiness, ganyan. And then I really burst into anger. Like my husband already witnessed how I burst into anger and it's not very nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
We're
So,
very
yun.
patient.
Yeah, shout out to my hubby. He's listening right now kasi siya yung kalmado. Siya yung complete opposite of me. Pero yun, siya din yung, I always tell people this na, yung self-awareness ko is because of my husband din. Kasi parang soundboard siya. He just repeats what I said and then suddenly I realize it. So, ayun, na parang nakaka-comfort din to know na ganun din. Na parang, there's really a pattern pala talaga sa mga women. Kasi yun din ang ng mga doctors. Kasi dati, di ba, puro men yung nada-diagnose with ADHD. Kaya merong early intervention. And then, the scientists now try to understand it better. How about for girls or for women? What are the manifestations? And then, meron din just recent research na one key indicator of ADHD sa toddlers is not being hyperactive. It's it's overly emotional sa triggers. Highly frustrated sila. And I saw that in my child. Pero
Mm,
may hope na, sabi din ng doctor, may hope kasi neuroplastic yung brains natin. Early intervention means they will have a, better life. And then, ayun,
mm.
sorry, dumaldal na ako. ADHD talaga.
No, okay lang yun. No, 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 that's good. It's
Yun.
actually it's actually very relatable rin to me because um I do see some signs kay my youngest kay Vito, and because he's very passionate
Mhm. Mhm.
about about things, and he has not been officially diagnosed, but I wouldn't be surprised if he also has it. um but what I'm thankful for is because I got diagnosed when he just turned 1, eh. So he wasn't really showing any signs back then. It
Yeah, yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
he wasn't the one who triggered me finding out
Mhm.
about my own diagnosis. Pero um he uh, uh, what I'm trying to say is, now that I have learned more about it myself, I feel like it's sort of, I hate to use the term blessing because
Yeah.
it's a it's still very difficult, right? Pero at least the silver lining to this is that I completely understand him and I can relate to him better. Kasi if I didn't have this, I would maybe just be impatient with him when
Mhm.
he's being,
Mhm.
when he's being overly emotional. Pero because it's exactly, maybe that's exactly what my parents were going through, and they had to nickname me Happy because they didn't know what to do. um, and parang, alam mo yun, I feel like I'm slowly learning more and more and having more of the tools if ever he is going to be diagnosed with it.
Mhm.
But I feel like I'm more prepared for it.
Yes, yes. Kasi actually, din sabi ni Hobby na if I will be more self-aware and I will also be a better parent to my baby girl. Kasi ganun din siya eh. Like, smallest of things that frustrates her, parang bigla siyang sisigaw out of frustration. And I'm like, trying to just observe and not reacting to it, even though deep inside, nanghihina na ako sa sobrang frustration. Kasi that happened talaga. Na sobrang
Mm,
hinang-hina na ako kasi I'm trying not to lash out on her.
mm,
And then sabi ko kay Habi, please, hawakan mo muna si baby. Hihiga muna ako. And I literally slept. Kasi talagang
oh,
nakakapanghina. And ngayon, I have a better understanding of my emotions and I see it in her na din. So whenever she's like, la, iiyak, magwawala, swallows of things, what I just do is I just hug her. Kasi sabi
mhm,
ng doctor ko, nagkakaroon daw ng depression and anxiety issues ng isang tao kasi wala daw yung motherly love or yung care na nakaprogram sa brain nila. In-emphasize sa
mm,
akin ng doctor ko na from, diba, developmental years, from 1 to 7, babies or toddlers, will, they can't regulate their emotions. So, the parents will be the one to regulate it for them. And then when they
mm,
grow older and they turn into adults, that same programming will be instilled in their minds. So
yeah,
whenever there's stressful situations, they are able to calm themselves down in a normal way. And then that's what I am trying to do with my baby.
yeah.
Na parang,
I love that.
when you hug your
Mm,
babies when they're having their tantrums, it feels like you're also giving that same love to yourself. Actually,
yeah,
naiiyak ako every time that happens.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I love hearing about that because that's also what I do to my kids. Kasi parang ako, I'll hug you, and I'm very grateful because my mom used to do that with me. She had no idea I had ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
pero she I think she read somewhere maybe that um kids need about 8 hugs a day or something. So she always like would just, keep hugging me. And ako kasi I was also, ang dami kong nickname, pero tawag din sa akin was Koala because I really loved hugs as a
Hugging.
kid. So talagang hugger talaga ako. And when, I love it kasi when the kids, when they're being like, really angry, I'll just be like, do you need a hug? And then sometimes they'll say no. I said, okay, well, I'm here. Maybe I can. And then I'll just slowly like, if you want a hug, and they'll just super like hug me, and then parang it just instantly makes them feel better. That's also, I think, in part, some skin to skin contact, which is what I learned naman when my eldest, si Pancho, was in the NICU,
Mm-hmm.
kangaroo care, skin to skin talaga, super helps. Um, Even if you're an adult, even if you don't have children,
Mm-hmm.
it's nice to, if you have a partner or, a family member, a great way to do emotional regulation is to hug
Hug.
talaga. So, kaya nga, sabi ko, may bago kaming rule ng husband ko, ni Jim, na
Mm-hmm.
pag nafe-feel namin mag-aaway na kami, kailangan namin mag-holding hands.
I love it. I love it.
Nag-aaway tayo. Oh, holding hands. Sige. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually very nice. Si hubby
Mm-mm.
naman, yan, speaking of coping mechanisms, kasi, I just want to be, I just want to say it, kasi I'm not ashamed, but I don't know how to be in a peaceful place talaga. Na parang somebody is validating your emotions. When you're angry, you're angry. It's okay. Just
Mm.
feel it. And then, when I got married, actually, it's like a Pandora's box eh. Everything just, when the dust settled, that's actually I was able to gain more self-awareness. And my hobby was like, kahit anong gawin mo, hindi ako maaasar sa'yo. Kahit anong sabihin mo, hindi ako mapipikon. Yeah, and it really brought me to tears. Like, seriously. Yeah, na parang, minsan nag-aaway kami. Sabihin ko sa kanya, di ka pa ba naaasar sa akin? Sabi niya, hindi. Tapos lalo akong maaasar. Kasi sabi ko, gusto ko itang makitang maasar. Pero kidding aside, he's like that, parang naglalakad na zen energy.
Oh.
Very calm, gano'n. Tapos ako yung, la. Tapos siya yung, So, yung baby ko tuloy, minsan napo-frustrate
Yeah.
sa amin, yung energy namin. Si nanay magulo, si tatay ang tahimik, alin dito yung susundin ko. Pero yon, kidding aside, ngayon sa amin naman tatlo, whenever I'm triggered, actually, what I do, love payakap. Ganun lang yung
Mm.
sasabihin ko, and then
That's
yayakapin niya
really
ako na parang bear hug. And then si
mm.
baby, hindi siya papayag na hindi siya kasama sa eksena. So sisingit siya sa gitna
Aw.
namin. Tapos we all bear hug. And it's like,
Mm.
parang iiyak lang ako and then they will just hug me. So nandun yung we understand you, we validate you, and we accept you. And that's a very nurturing environment to have then. So whenever I hug my baby, sabi ko sa kanya, it's okay, just feel it, just cry, it's okay.
Oh,
And
that's
then,
exactly what I do. Oh my gosh. I keep saying, and I try to, I name the emotion always. I say, are you sad? It's okay. You can be sad. You can be sad. And then kumara, when they're angry, especially si Vito, ano, talagang I would say, it's okay. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be, I let him know na it's okay to be angry. That's okay. But we don't hit, we don't throw, we don't kick. Because sometimes he can't, and then he can't help it. Even if hindi malakas, kailangan lang niya uh, gagawin niya. Kasi alam niya hindi dapat, pero hindi niya mapigilan. So, kahit super soft lang, kailangan niya kaming, ng konti. So,
mm,
syempre, I have to put my foot down, but I can't say like, you can't be angry, I really have to say na, it's okay, you're angry because mama took away the toy. You're
yeah, yeah.
angry, that's okay, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But, we don't hit, okay? And then, ayun nga, I hug him. And slowly, he's learning it, paano, pasoft ng pasoft yung body.
I love it. Talaga, ganun talaga siguro. And then, yon, grateful talaga ako kay hubby kasi nga, kung wala siya, hindi ko alam kung paano. So, he actually made the sacrifice to stay at home din kasi it's because of me din na parang I cannot really regulate my emotions very well. So, we're in that process of kahit ako kailangan kong i-extend yung patience ko with him, with
Mm-mm.
baby, and actually that leads to my next question, emotional
Mhm.
availability.
Mhm.
When I was doing my own research, one of the hardest facets then of having an ADHD is making sure that you're emotionally available to your husband, to your baby. Kasi I am really guilty of this. Sometimes when I'm really drained because of the work during the day and the things that I have to do in the podcast and everything, sometimes I just want to sit and just stare at nothingness. Like, tulala. Parang sinasabi ko kay hubby, gusto kong maging patatas for a day or maging burrito. Like, be stagnant and just able
Yeah,
to
yeah.
recharge my executive function batteries. Pero minsan si baby gustong maglaro, like, when she watches, shows sa TV, sa YouTube, super simple, may mga songs, kailangan, todo performance ka din. Like, banana
Yeah.
apple, perform ka din. Pero pag drained ka na, baby, 5 minutes, please. So, si hubby, ganun din, na parang pag kami naman dalawa na lang, minsan gusto niya magkwento, yada, 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 and I was like, hindi ko na naririnig yung sinasabi niya. Ano yung sabi
Mm,
niya? Parang
mm.
nagsasalita siya, pero yung bibig niya, yun, 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 yun. Nahulas na yung gamot ko. Ayun, no,
Mm.
parang sa'yo, kasi syempre mas matagal ka ng married eh. I was able to witness then your journey with Jem. How do you do it then? Na parang you make sure na you're available to your hobby and kay baby.
Um, well, very different from your situation with your husband who's like super zen. Props to you for that. I also wanna, parang gusto ko rin naman sabihin na, well, that's like amazing, and I am sure like it's paradise for you, diba? I also want to say na it's also possible na hindi zen yung partner mo kasi, and to make it work even if I have ADHD. Si Jim naman kasi he has a diagnosis of anxiety disorder. So he's a highly anxious person, which I think, contributes to his being a very good entrepreneur kasi talagang parang yes, yes, everything. Where getting things done. He's very good at that. So yung executive function ng brain niya talagang mixed with my very bad executive function. We're like, yeah, we're the dream team. So I love that. Um, but he is also a very sensitive person. So that's happened to us na when I'm kind of like zoned out, and of course he gets hurt. He's like, so at the start of our relationship, I think there were those moments. But the stronger your relationship is and the foundation, the more it's not anymore. Um, there's a lot of understanding. Like he understands when I'm very guilty of when I'm hyper focused. Like he can enter the room and I'm like, I don't know, coding something and like doing something. He can enter the room, talk to me and everything. Walang papasok sa head ko. And hindi ko man lang siya mapapansin. Kahit bagong uwi siya from the office, kung hyper-focused ako, ganyan. And then later on, there were some days na he'd be like, that was a little rude. And then the more na hindi ako naging kasi of course, it's easy to just be defensive, diba? Parang,
Yeah.
hindi naman, kasi wala talagang bad intention. But of course, you have to recognize that, hey, you're sharing a space, you're sharing a life with someone. So you've got to learn how to communicate. So I told them lang na, I explained nga the more he understood about my ADHD, itong hyper-focus. So, and sometimes, lambing lang naman ng kailangan ng tao, diba?
Yeah.
So, makalambing talaga ako. And I'll say, I'm so sorry. I was on hyper-focus mode. I'm so sorry. I'll try not to do it. Or if I feel like I'm gonna go into hyper-focus mode, I'm gonna tell you, okay? And that's really helped. The communication, kasi sabihin ka na parang, hey, kunwari, eto, ngayon, sobrang inano ka siya na, may live stream ako so kung dumating ka, wag mo akong papansinin kasi madidistract ako, ano ba? So, those small setups lang na konting, just like hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. So it really helps when kahit night before we talk about like, what are you doing the next day? And then if I communicate na I have a really stressful morning because I have a deadline, may shoot ako, ganyan, ganyan. He'll understand na talaga, hindi ko talaga siya papansinin. Or he's really gonna have to help out with the kids.
Yeah.
And the same way, he does the same for me. If he's the one who needs a little bit of help, then naturally rin ako na parang, oh, parang natural sa akin na, oh, I'll step up and, I'll be here. And when he's, ano eh, ang maganda rin is, nagiging natural na rin siya. At nung una, it was like, very, you have to be consciously doing it. You have to be consciously communicating it. And then it became a habit. So it's really good kasi, um, uh, we just want to communicate very well. So when you want to do something, then it comes naturally. And it also helps when you set boundaries.
Mm.
Pag kunwari, yun nga, yung in the morning, I have to do all my work stuff. And then at 12 o'clock, like, I am completely, no, ayoko ng notifications, ayoko gumawa ng kahit ano. I'm 100% with my family
Mhm.
until, let's say, 2 p.m. when I'm, sorry kids. So, and I love it because when I'm doing these things, when I'm doing a live stream or
Mhm.
have a podcast recording, we really schedule it nang nagnanap yung kids.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of maneuvering,
Sayaw. Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
it can happen. We're very privileged that we have um control of our own working schedule. So I can imagine how difficult it is for people who have to work from 8 to 5, and it
Mhm.
is very, very difficult. But the more you understand nga what's
Mhm.
going on, why you naturally, I don't know, explode when there's a lot of overwhelm. The self-awareness talaga is the first step to self-development, I think.
Mm. Yes, yes. Actually actually may isang psychologist, I forgot her name. Pero sabi niya, one of the things that she learned that she wished she learned few years back is self-awareness. Kasi hindi daw lahat ng tao meron nun. And apparently, it's a gift. It's part of
Mm,
somebody's giftedness to be highly self-aware. Parang hindi lang yung IQ, yung parang, okay, you get to
yeah.
do a lot of stuff. Pero it's also part pala ng pagiging self-giftedness is yung developing self-awareness. And yon, habi
Mm,
kung nakikinig ka, please take Sab's advices. It's very cool. Kasi yun din yung ano namin struggle namin. Kasi ako yung
mm,
sabi nga nung may isang tao din nag-advise sa akin na there are two types of people when they're communicating. There are people who are literal and there are people who are inferred. So,
mm,
inferred, may gusto silang gawin, pero they will not communicate it in a very literal way. Apparently, I'm a literal person. So, you have to tell me if something is blue, if something is cold, if something is hot. And then,
mm,
siya yung parang highly inferred person na parang sasabihin niya sa akin, hindi pa ba obvious?
mm,
Well, no. Kasi kung oo, gets ko siya. Ganon, na parang yun yung struggle namin. Kasi siya yung, si nga zen siya. And also that
mm,
means, he's a man of very, very few words. Na I have to read his facial expression and do like ABCD. Is he sad? Frustrated? Gutom? Anong gusto mo? Tapos parang, I ask him, para, love, what's wrong with you? Kahit nasabihin niya sa akin na, no, there's nothing wrong with me. No, I know you're frustrated. I know something
mm,
is up with you. Like the other night,
mm,
so funny. Nakahiga na
yeah.
kami and all. And I'm trying to ask him several times, please set up my LED lights. Please set up my LED lights. And he was like very tired to do it. Tapos parang hinaghula ako, are you sad? Are you frustrated that I'm pushing you to do it? Tapos parang sabi
Mm,
ko, or are you hungry? And then his eyes went just like, tudung! He light up like a bulb na parang, okay, let's do this. Ayun pala, gutom lang pala. So, yun actually yung
yeah.
one of our struggles kasi I don't really recognize social cues. Like, I'm really bad at it. I cannot read the
Mm,
room na parang, yes, I'm an introvert and people mistake me for being an extrovert. But in
yeah.
reality, people doesn't know that when I enter a room full of people, it's really a struggle to me and it's really draining my energy kasi also have to read the room. I have to be
Grabe.
aware, 'di
Yeah.
ba? Yung parang
Ako.
self-awareness na okay, today or tonight I am not going to overshare. Like kunwari, when I go to church gatherings, ang kailangan kong iset yung mind ko, I am not going to overshare today. I will just listen to the pastor and have like a small talk with people but not overshare. And then,
Mm.
ganun talaga, pinoprogram. So, sa bahay naman, si Hobby, alam mo yung nakaka-guilty kasi when baby cries, I don't know kung is it because of her diaper, is it because
Mm.
gusto niya ng milk, gusto niya ng hug, gusto niya ng karga. Si Hobby yung, love, palta mo na ng diaper, puno na diaper niyan. And then, oh my gosh, yes, tumigil ng pag-iyak. Or di kaya,
Mm.
gutom na yan, padedein mo na. So, yun yun. Na parang personal mom guilt ko na my own baby, I don't know, parang, ano ba gusto mo anak? Kasi sobrang literal ko. And siguro kaya din ako nabully when, way back in high school. Kasi nga, I don't know how to read social cues. And also, I don't even know kung iniinsulto mo na ba ako or hindi. So,
Yeah.
'di ba? So, parang kami ni Hobby ngayon, sabihin ko sa kanya, love, be literal as possible. Like, kung
Mm.
malamig ba to, sobrang init ba to, please, bigyan mo ko ng range kung gaano siya
Mm.
kalamig, gaano siya kainit, ano yung kailangan. Please be literal to me kasi talagang yung brain ko, it's really, parang hindi ko alam, hindi ko talaga siya mag-get. So, parang smart naman ako. Pero pagdating doon, parang,
Yes, yeah,
yeah.
I get that.
Mm.
With
Pero
with me naman, hindi ko naman siya uh I think I I've I can't really say na I'm the same na I can't read social cues, but I seem to be very, very, especially since becoming a mom, talagang
mhm.
I've become super duper patient with everyone, including myself. And I'm so thankful for my kids for that. Kasi, you know, I think ADHDers, is it right to say that we're very hard on ourselves?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think parang that's
Mhm.
natural na parang we're just so critical of ourselves. And I was also impatient with myself. When I had kids, I just always parang I just really wanted them to know that I super loved them. And love is patient, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I that really made me rethink things. Na if my kids are, struggling with something and I'm so patient with them, the way I say na
Mm.
it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be angry, it's okay, shout it out.
Mhm.
I questioned na why am I not naturally like that towards myself? Na kunwari, if
Mhm.
I'm feeling a certain way, I'm always like, ang arte mo, like, ganun yung natural reaction ko. And since then, I've I'm I've been I've been so kind to myself and nag-extend na rin siya to other people.
Mhm.
Now, I just I just assume the best from
Yeah.
everyone. I always, kung ano may something, tas, a friend of mine will say na parang, bakit ganyan si ganyan? And sobra akong like the great defender of everyone. I'm always like,
Mhm.
I'm sure they're not evil, parang
Mhm.
laging, I'm sure may pinanggagalingan yan, and like, maybe we just read something wrong, or there's a miscommunication.
Mhm.
I'm, well, that's something that I've developed as a mom. So I'm
Yeah.
really grateful. Kasi nakatulong siya sa ADHD ko.
Actually, speaking of love, share ko lang, medyo personal din to kasi 'di ba? I actually honestly, I was not able to catch up with your content because at that time, yun na yung depressive episodes ko talaga. And then, 2 weeks ago, na-trigger ulit ako. And then, my hobby was like, okay, if you're not feeling good, it's a Saturday, it's a Sunday. Ta parang mom guilt. I need to do the laundry, I need to clean the house, I need to cook good food for baby, I need to bond with them. There's like, I need. But my body was just like, no, Mitch, you're going to lay down and rest and feel the pain and be comfortable with that pain. And then
Mm,
for the whole Saturday, I was just lying in bed. I was telling Hobby, love, I'm really sorry, but I need to lay down. And then,
mm,
funny story, I was just browsing TikTok and then I saw this video na yung homeless couple sa US, the husband takes care of the wife kahit na walang, homeless talaga, nasa side lang ng street, matyaga siyang pinaliliguan si wife kasi may cancer si wife, ganyan. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is hobby. Na yung love that heals you. And that
Mm.
kind of patient and kind love that hobby gave to me. Na parang
Mm.
it should energize me to fight depression. And then,
Mm.
alam mo yung parang naiiyak na ako habang pinanonood ka. I'm realizing these things. And then, nung bumaba ako, nasa kusina siya, tulog si baby, niyakap ko lang siya na I'm very thankful for your love. Kasi
Mm.
he's being patient, he's being kind when I need to lay down, no judgment, no anything. Na parang, hey, you need to do this, di ba? Kasi all of my life, it's like that na, oh, you need to do this, you need to clean the house, you need to blah, 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 blah. And then, my pain is just there, sitting there, not being recognized or validated. And then yon. Tapos parang ever since that, when I realized that if hobby is patient and kind to me, and baby is like very malambing talaga, na parang out of nowhere, she will just get your face and kiss you. And now she
Mm.
learned to say, love you. And she learned to say, thank you. Na parang those kindness that you show to your child is being directed back to you. And then hobby is like that as well. Na parang, I need to also be patient and kind to myself. And then, hobby always reminds me na, love, you're not doing this because for us, you're doing this for yourself. For yourself. It's always like that, reminding me, for yourself, yourself. And then, yun din talaga na, with ADHD diagnosis, I learned to see the good version of myself. Na parang, di pala ako tamad. Hindi pala
Mm.
ako perfectionist. Kasi ganyan din ako way back in college. Hindi ako
Mm.
perfectionist. Tapos, ayun, na parang, um, I can be sweet and nice and, be myself. Na hindi
Mm.
pala ako talaga strong. But I am also a soft person. Ngayon, I understand why my psychologist said na, you're a bear. I don't understand how come I became a bear. Na
Mm.
I'm strong, I'm this like, and ayun pala, deep inside me, I'm a bear. I'm soft, I'm kind, I'm sweet. So, yun, na parang sobrang dami ng realizations. At kaya siguro yun na din yung life cost ko na to raise awareness. Don't judge
Yeah.
yourself. Yun.
There's really a lot of childhood trauma, and I think the misrepresentation of trauma is that it has to be, some big car accident or
Mm,
sudden death. Sometimes trauma is those small things, like kahit masabihan ka ng some kahit
yeah.
kunwari, for example, like maybe, given a nickname that's not very nice,
Mm-hmm.
uh, said to you several times through the years. That's also something that's gonna stick with you, and a lot of the time, I think ADHDers, we have to work on those things so that we can move forward. Kasi a lot of it is a lot of self-doubt rin
Yeah.
that keeps us from, it's really para sa akin, the whole um executive function,
Mm-hmm.
time blindness, all of those things, very manageable. It's the underlying um self doubt and lack of self confidence. Now you're always questioning if you're doing it the right way, if
Mm-hmm.
you're choosing the right thing to do, because it's really hard for us to prioritize, diba?
Yeah.
So when we get rid of all of that self doubt, and we learn to change all the needs and the shoulds to
Mm-hmm.
wants. Like, for example, if you were thinking, I need to do the laundry, I need to cook, I need to ganyan, ganyan, because that's putting a lot of pressure on yourself. Of course, you're not going to want to do it, right?
Yeah.
But if you change it into, I want to have a nice meal with the family. It doesn't really matter if you're the one who cooks, right? Or,
Mm-hmm.
at least communicate mo sa husband mo na, you know, I I don't want to get into specifics, pero the whole changing of the needs and shoulds to wants, it's helped me so much with the whole um struggle with getting things off my to-do list. Kasi, I think ADHDers, we don't like, we have these to-do lists, we have the things on our calendars, but our brains are always like, ayoko, ayoko gawin. Like, it's there, but it's like, alam ko kailangan ko gawin, pero ayoko, ayoko. And it's like, bigla magtataka ka na nakalimutan mo. Hindi mo nakalimutan. Alam mo naman kailangan mo gawin eh. Ayaw mo lang gawin.
Mm-hmm.
So, real talk tayo dito. Oo. Oh, hindi na,
Yeah.
wala nang inferred. Literal to, sinasabi ko na sa inyo. In fairness,
Actually, that is so me na parang, okay, I wanna learn Forex, I wanna learn Rubik's Cube, and then now, dun, wala na. So, yon. Kaya yung podcast, talagang taga ako sa bato. Sabi ko sa sarili
yeah.
ko, Mitch, if you're gonna start this, you will push this through whatever happens. I had that conversation with myself
Mm,
several times before I recorded that first episode.
awesome.
Yeah, parang by hook or by crook, bumagyo man, lumindol man, or whatever, itutuloy mo to, Mitch. Itutuloy mo to,
Yes.
Mitchell.
And remember, Mitch, it's not because you need to, it's because you want to. You want to do this. You want to share all of your life lessons to your listeners. And
Yeah.
that's why you have been so consistent with it. It's because there's not, I don't know, parang if ano mo to sa, if it's all about like pressure and consistency and having to do it, needing to publish it, mag-iiba talaga eh. But
Yeah.
if your reason for it is the purest of intentions and really coming from your your heart, you're walang problema. You're gonna want to do it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, for the moms and or whoever else who has ADHD, I think just go back to what you really want to do and why you want to do it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think everything is just gonna be so much clearer. There are so many things on your to-do list that you can let go of if you really don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Oh
let
my.
go of it and just focus on the things that matter to you.
Oh my gosh. I
Ayun
was
na.
about to ask your parang last message and you already said it. Pero, Sab, thank you so much. I really wanna do cry right now. Pinipigilan lang ako ng concealer ko. Pero, so, promise talaga, you have touched a lot of lives, including mine, and you, parang keep in mind that you have inspired me to produce my own content for years as well. Ngayon lang ako nag-act on
Thank
it.
you.
Talaga. So, just continue it. Continue doing what you do.
Thank
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm
oh,
gonna cry because I'm really a fan.
congratulations. Congrats on the podcast and your success. And thank you so much for having me. And I'm so glad that I made a new friend. Yay.
Oh, thank you so much, Sab. And I'm gonna join the Pod Kids group kasi feeling ko talaga I'm one of the
Yay.
OGs. Spell
Yes,
Saturdays
please
pa lang.
do. Yes, yes. Oo, please do.
Yes,
Marami ring
yes.
mga ADHDers.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay. So, Sab, maraming
Yes.
salamat. Maraming
Thank
maraming
you.
salamat talaga. Oh my gosh,
Thank
I'm
you so
gonna
much,
cry.
Mitch. I
Thank
had
you.
fun.
And have a good day with the rest of your
Thank
family.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.